Still to come. Still to come. Still packaging. So closely you might not ever see it again. Okay. Pour it down.
Maybe I should. So I'm not getting.
Go that way. Check our integrity. Place it near the front of the mayo stand. This one's a little bit smaller, but you're going to see about this memory. This one's actually doing pretty good. And then look, can you see how this is tucked under? There's no tabby tucked under there. So you're going to have to fight with it. Okay. So imagine this is, in there, we've opened everything, we've opened our gown and gloves, then we have to go outside the OR suite to the scrub sink to do our scrub, okay? So if you guys want to come over here, I'm just going to grab first a scrub brush. The scrub brushes live in these 3 drawers. There's the betadine one, the chlorhexidine gluconate one, and the one we can't spell that we say PCMX. Okay, so grab whichever one that you want. I usually use this one. I'm going to go ahead and open this first. If you try to open it once your hands are wet, that is a slippery trick. So if you can remember to open it before we start, just open it up. Set it right there, okay? So we want to make sure that we have our eye protection on at this point. Sometimes we place it on our head and we forget to put it on our eyeballs. Okay, so we want to make sure we have on all of our PPE. If your sleeves come down to 2 inches, into the 2 inches above your elbow range, you want to roll them, okay, so that you don't get them wet. You also have your shirts tucked in, and then you want to maintain your distance from your sink, right? You don't want to get your scrubs wet because that could cause strike through to your camera, okay? So first we're just going to do a quick hand wash. We're not going to make like a career of it, but we're going to wash up to our elbows. Just a pre-wash, okay? You can rinse if you want. You can leave it if you want. No really pomp and circumstance to it, okay? Next thing that we're going to do is clean our fingernails. So we're going to get our little cleaner thing. This one, covered with soap. We're going to clean our fingernails underneath the running water. Okay. At this point, we really don't have to worry about the orientation of our hands and elbows. Once we get started with the scrub and we grab the scrub brush, then we want to start thinking about that. If you don't hardly have any nails, don't hurt yourself. Please don't ever throw trash in the sink. That's annoying. Somebody else has to clean that up. Okay, so we're just going to get our brush wet. I like to work up some suds with mine. Okay, so now I'm going to start thinking about keeping my arms away from my shirt, keeping my body away from the sink, and keeping my hands above my elbows. Okay, we're going to go 30 circles on the fingernails. For sake of time, I'm not going to do the first arm. I'll do all of them, but the second arm I'm not going to. I usually do each of my fingernails because I have a tendency to forget when I get to my second hand, but otherwise I'll do from fingertip up to elbow, fingertip up to elbow. Seriously? Did you see what just happened? Okay, so remember, fingers have 1, 2, 3, 4 planes, a front and a back and 2 sides. You want to make sure that you hit all of those. With the thumb, I go all the way down the side of my hand to get 10 back and forth strokes there. 10. 10. Catching my little webby space as I do this on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, sorry.
Bubbles.
It's a full body sport scrubbing. Catch this side of my hand with my pinky. Okay, how many circles on the palm?
30.
30.
We're gonna do 30. And on the back. I'm gonna add some water. Okay, so I usually think about my arms being in 3 sections. You can do it in 2 if you would like, but we gotta get to 2 inches above the elbow. The arm has 4 planes as well. We're gonna do 10 circles on each plane, 2 sides, the front and the back. This is where it gets messy. Okay, so I already did my fingernails, so I'm not gonna do 10 planes like I said for the sake of, but 4 planes on each side, making sure you get your little webby spaces. You can scrub them separately. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, catch the side, 30 on the palm, 30 on the back, 10 on each plane of the arm. 2 or 3 sections. Up to 2 inches above the elbow. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the trash. We're gonna rinse. Fingertips to elbow, only in one direction, bringing that hand up towards the ceiling. You always want water dripping off of your elbow, okay? Not like this, okay? Like this. Can go slow. If you gotta go again, come out. Go again. One more time. Good enough. If you hold your arm up too high, water runs down into your armpit, which is really awesome. Okay, I'm gonna leave my drips at the sink as best as I can. So I'm just gonna stand here for a second. What am I doing? Okay, good enough. Okay, so now we'll typically back into our OR. They have like these little bars, so we'll just use our our backside. We go into our room. First, we're just gonna grab the towel and nothing else. Just pinch on top, grab the towel, take a big step back. You're gonna open up your towel. You're gonna put your hand under the first half, okay? You're gonna put the hand you're drying on top. See how I take a little bit of step back? That keeps the tail of the towel from coming into contact with my shirt. Same thing with drying as scrubbing. Start at the fingertips and work towards the elbow. You don't want to go back because up here is dirty. Okay? We're gonna switch. We're not gonna touch this, right? We dried all the way up to the dirty side. I'm not gonna switch hands. Just gonna go to the trash. The next thing I wanna grab is my gown. This part that comes above this yellow line is actually the front of the gown. You wanna avoid putting your paws on that if you can, even though it's gonna be like down there. The best place to grab it is at the fold. So you'll see how this is where it's folded. I'm gonna put this back down for a second. Wouldn't typically do that. but see how this is the open side? It has a tendency to kind of come unfurled if you grab it there. So here you have more control. A couple things though, you don't want to dig under here, don't want to touch your wrap at all. You want to stay on top if at all possible, then you can get your other hand involved. Take a big step back. There's these nice little pockets for your hands. That's how you're going to orient the gown, okay? So you're going to let it unfold. And what I typically do, I'm going to turn around so you can see. I just get a death grip on one, okay? Push my other one through. Bring it in, okay? Because we're trying to minimize our footprint, right? There's not a lot of space in the operating room. So to kind of go out like this or up like this, you know, we just want to slow, controlled movements, making ourselves as small as possible. And then I'm going to bring my arm down here. I do see a lot of times this or this, pulling it on. Just come down here, push your arm in, bring it in. Okay, so now I need a circulating nurse. Gabe is on the ready. Okay, come back here behind me. You should find Velcro here and Velcro here. So go ahead and do that for me if you will. Perfect. And then I think you had a tie over there. And reach inside the gown on this side and you should find another tie. Find him? Okay. So that's what the non-sterile person would do. Typically it's our circulator. It could be another tech that's just looking in and sees that you're like flopping in the breeze. Okay, we're good for now. Okay, so you want to remember to keep your fingers inside the blue and not going too much past the light cuff. I try to keep mine right on the edge, right there. Okay. You want to exaggerate your movements here because you don't want to touch your little card on that little flappy do down there. Okay, so you kind of still want to maintain your distance. You don't want to belly up to your mayo stand. Gonna open up your gloves just so that you can grab one out. I usually do my right hand first, but whatever makes sense. Okay, so the way that we orient the glove, let me get a hold of you, come here. Okay, can you see the little thumb sticking out right there? Okay, so thumb to thumb or palm to palm, because my thumb's right here, okay? And what I try to do is, since my fingers are right at this little ridge, this ridge of the glove, I'm gonna line that up right there, okay? I'm gonna just grab a hold of it for a second. See how this little edge came up and is like, hey, grab me. Okay, so you wanna grab that, and then I'm just gonna readjust here really quickly. Same thing, okay? So I'm doing the right hand. So essentially, this cuff is gonna get folded over this white cuff, the cuff of the glove. Stick it up in there, okay? You want to try to adjust as little as possible until you get both on. No, it's fine, really. Okay, same thing. If you do this, it kind of loosens up the little stickiness, okay? But here's the thumb to thumb, right? Fingers towards the elbow. Find your top little edge of the cuff. Same thing here, find your pinchers. Get that other edge. Okay, we're gonna stuff that cuff up into the cuff of the glove. You can pull on your gown a smidge, but if you pull on it too hard, tell them, Cody, what happens. They rip. Okay?
Happened to be on my comment.
Yeah, so the first time I was at a new place, I was in labor and delivery, I was scrubbing my first C-section by myself at that place. And I go get my gown on and I'm like pulling, and I just rip the whole arm, and I'm like, all right, I look like such a rookie right now, but I guess it'll give me some new gowning gloves. Okay, so now we can kind of adjust. I like to keep my cuffs kind of high. If you pull your cuffs all the way back here, you are gonna spend your entire career trying to keep your cuffs covered. Okay, you want to make sure the white is always covered, and the more you pull them back here, these are going to roll. It always happens, and you're gonna constantly be adjusting them to keep them covered. Okay, so that's that part. There's one last thing to do. Anybody know what it is?
The dance.
Dance fever. Okay, so this is what we do. Just let me turn around so you can see. Okay, so in my left hand, I'm going to get a death grip on my tie. In this hand, this right, I'm gonna grab closest to myself on the card. I'm gonna pull apart. I'm gonna protect this little tail so it doesn't go southward out of my zone. Okay? Okay, so usually I wouldn't turn my back to my mail stand, but Gabe, I'm gonna ask you to come stand behind me. I'm gonna pass this card to Gabe, just touching the blue part, please. Okay, now meet me on the other side, if you will. I switched hands, and now I'm just gonna grab this, because he's touched that, I don't wanna get his cooties. Okay, pull. Thank you. If you could just set that to the side for me, that would be fantastic. You're gonna tie. Now, trash needs to be discarded. There's a couple ways that we can do it. One, similar to when we were open gloving, we can pinch in the middle and go to our trash can, hover. Or we can ask somebody else to do it. Could you be a doll? Either way, right? But we want to be as self-sufficient as possible. So if your circulator's just like standing there waiting and they grab it, that's fine. I wouldn't call someone over to get that for me, right? Just pinch in the middle. Make sure that you are not passing over your back table with that rack. If your back table is here, I would do this, come over here, all right? If it's over here, I don't have to worry about it, okay? But if the trash was over there, same thing. And then go to my trash, right? And throw it away. Okay? Do you want to see the gloving one more time? Or are you just ready to jump in?
I'm ready to do
Ready
it.
to jump in? Okay, let me show you how to get out of your gown. Okay, so I'm gonna destroy my gown, but you are not. All right, but just for demonstration purposes, when we are ready to get out of our dirty gowns, we're gonna break the tie on the side. Okay, we're going to break the tie at the back and break the Velcro, and then you're going to turn this inside out. Roll all the schmutzies on the inside. I usually keep my gloves on. Other people don't. They just kind of come over here and just do it all at the same time. But if you do that, then just glove to glove or dirty to dirty. Ball it up like we did with the open gloving. Skin to skin or clean to clean. Into the trash. Hand hygiene. It's probably time to clean up now, so I would get some exam gloves, put those on, start breaking down my field, help move the patient, whatever the case may